Skylanders Imaginators is where we are giving players the first-time ability to create their own Skylander. They're going to use something called the Creation Crystal, along with their own imagination, to create something that we call an Imaginator, which is the created Skylander of really their imagination. So this is a Creation Crystal, and inside is a piece of Imaginite, and that is something that you use what we call mind magic to influence and create your own Imaginator, which is a created Skylander of your choosing. Honestly, what's been fun with Skylanders is that year over year we've created new characters. We've got something like over 300 plus character toys out in the market now. And because we're creating so many different personalities, because we're creating so many different ideas and play styles for these characters, that naturally we've seen kids kind of pick up on that. We've seen fans pick up on our creativity and wanting to show off their own. And since it's this fun kind of series in this game, world where anything can exist, it's really, enabled our fans to create anything. So when you create your own Imaginator, it's how they look, from appearance of body parts, which you choose, to size and scale. You could have a really big head and a really tiny body if you wanted. To different auras and effects on the character. So if you're playing as a fire character, maybe you want to add a really fun fire effect to them. And then there's also gear. And so gear is an additional layer of armor, weapons, backpacks, and things that affect the stats of your character. How strong they are, how fast they are. From there, you can also choose the color theming. And so we want to make sure that you can drill down in as deep as you want, or really as top level, to create a unified theme to your character, or really go in and choose specifically, I want those lenses on that character to be the specific shade of blue that I want them to be. And then from there, there's powers, and so you get to choose how they fight by selecting a different battle class, which is our fighting styles for these characters. And so things like Ninja, Bowslinger, or as you saw, Smasher, are really different archetypes that you can choose from that affect how they play. And then from there, there's personality, which is always my favorite, because you get to choose and create your own catchphrase by combining two different sentence halves to create something completely bizarre or heroic or funny or spooky. I mean, you can see "fear my bananas" to "you can't handle my muscles."
You can't handle my club.
What we've got is another new type of character called a sensei. And so if our Imaginators, which are divided by those different battle classes, are the apprentices, these guys represent the masters. And so they're the most over-the-top, powerful masters of these battle classes. And here we've got Master Tri-Tip, who is a Smasher character. You can see that in this little symbol here on his base. And so these guys have the most over-the-top moves. They've got some really cool attacks. Then they also have some additional things that really set them apart. They've got the ability to unleash something called Sky Chi, which is this ultimate power that only they have, which is kind of what we call a almost kung fu super move. And so you fill up this meter as you defeat these enemies, and then you can unleash this massive power that shows off just how cool they are. And then in addition to that, bringing them into the game will allow them to further train Imaginators. And so just by bringing them into the game, you up the level cap possibility for your entire collection of Imaginators. And then in addition to that, they have some additional benefits like teaching additional moves and having access to new areas that might get more loot, say, for your Imaginator collection. Game's coming out in the US on October 16th, and so it's plus or minus 2 or 3 days depending on the territory. Starter pack contents are going to be the Golden Queen, a Fire Creation Crystal, and an additional Sensei. This is the Brawler Sensei. This is Kingpin, and that'll be in the starter pack. And then pricing-wise, the characters are going to be $14.99 for a Sensei, and then $9.99 for a Creation Crystal, which is in line with our characters from previous games. I mean, it's going to be absolutely fantastic to see how this kind of changes the discussion of all these fan items that we've been receiving, all the pictures, and hopefully it'll be pictures of the characters that they've created now in the game, so that way we can see just, what they like.